Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed about magnetization and permeability. We are into the module 4. Let us solve few of the examples on magnetization and permeability. The first example, if B bar is equal to 0.05 x AY bar Tesla in a material for which XM, that is susceptibility, is 2.5, find A mu R, B mu C H bar, D M bar, E J bar, and F JB bar. So what is given here? Susceptibility XM is given, that is 2.5, right? And then B bar is 0.05 x AY bar Tesla, that is flux density. So we are supposed to find these all parameters, that is first one is mu R, mu H bar, M bar, J bar and JB bar. So the first one, permeability, relative permeability in terms of susceptibility is given by, so relative permeability in terms of susceptibility is given by mu R is equal to xi m plus 1. So xi m is given, so it is 2.5 plus 1, so this comes out to 3.5. So relative permeability is 3.5. Second part of the problem, they have asked mu. So we know that the permeability of the material is given by mu is equal to mu naught into mu R. So this will be equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Mu R is, just now we have calculated, 3.5. This will be equal to 4.3982 into 10 to the power minus 6 Henry per meter. C, magnetic flux density is given by B bar is equal to mu into H bar. That is nothing but mu naught mu R, because mu is mu naught mu R into H bar. Therefore H bar will be equal to B bar divided by mu naught mu R. This will be equal to, so B bar is given 0.05 x AY bar, this divided by mu naught is mu naught into mu R, just now we have calculated, that is 4.3982 into 10 to the power minus 6. So the answer is here 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 x AY bar, ampere per meter, right? Next, the next is we have to solve for the magnetization is given by M bar is equal to xi m into H bar. So this is a relation between magnetization and the magnetic field intensity, that is M bar is equal to xi m into H bar. So that is xi m is given, that is 2.5 into H bar we have calculated, so it is how much, 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 x AY bar. So the answer is M bar is equal to 28.42 into 10 raised to 3 10 raised to 3 x AY bar ampere per meter. Next, current density. They have asked current density J bar. So the current density J bar is given by, what is the formula? Del cross H bar. J bar is given by del cross H bar. So that is AX bar, AY bar, AZ bar. Determinant of AX bar, AY bar, AZ bar. Dou by dou X, dou by dou Y. So this is how we are finding the curl, is it not? Del cross H bar, dou by dou X, dou by dou Y, dou by dou Z. Then Hx, Hy, Hz. Now substitute. So this will be equal to del cross H bar. This is equal to Ax bar, Ay bar, Az bar, dou by dou X, dou by dou Y, dou by dou Z. Right? Determinant of Hx is 0. There is no x component. Only y component of h is given. That is, we have calculated that is 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3, 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 x Ay bar. That is our h bar. So it is y component. So we have hy is 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 x. 10 raised to 3 x. Then z component is 0. Hz is 0. Okay. So if we simplify this, so this and this will go for x. Dou by dou y into 0 is 0. So dou by dou z of, because of it is x, dou by dou z, that is also 0, right? Because we are differentiating with respect to z. This is x here. Then Ay bar minus Ay bar, this and this will go, dou by dou x into 0 is 0, minus 0 into dou by dou z is 0. Then plus Az bar. So that is plus Az bar. This into dou by dou x of 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 x. So this is nothing but how much? J bar is equal to 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3. Differentiation of x with respect to x is 1. So this is 11.3682 into 10 raised to 3 Az bar, this is Az bar multiplied ampere per meter square. It is current density, so it is ampere per meter square. Next we are remaining with to find, that is JB bar, bound current density. Last one, bound current density, that is given by JB bar is equal to bound current density JB bar. This is given by del cross of curl of m bar, that is dou by dou Ax bar, Ay bar, Az bar. Determinant of Ax bar, Ay bar, Az bar, dou by dou X, dou by dou Y, dou by dou Z. Then whatever is the m component, write it here. That is mx, my, mz. Simplify further. So this is Ax bar, Ay bar, Az bar, dou by dou X, dou by dou Y, dou by dou Z. Mx is 0, m, this magnetization component in x direction is 0. We have only the magnetization component in y direction. That is, we have solved it in part D of the problem, m bar. Okay, so write that is 28.42 into 10 raised to 3 x, 28.42 10 raised to 3 x, dou by dou z, that is mz component is 0, z component of magnetization is 0. So therefore JB bar will be given by, that is, we will be having it is similar to the previous, that is part E that we solved, determinant. So this and this is Az bar, this into dou by dou x of 28.42 into 10 raised to 3 x. So differentiation with respect to x is unity. So this comes out to 28.42 into 10 raised to 3 Az bar ampere per meter square. That is JB bar. And this is Az bar ampere per meter square. So it is JB bar is equal to 28.42 into 10 raised to 3 AZ bar ampere per meter square. Okay. So this is how we have solved this example. Let us solve one more example. One more example. Example 2. Find the magnetic field intensity. Find magnetic field intensity. Magnetic field intensity in a magnetic material. In a magnetic material where what is given, mu is equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to 5 Henry per meter. M is equal to, magnetization is 120 ampere per meter. Second, mu r is equal to 22, and there are 8.3 into 10 raised to 28 atoms per meter cube, and each atom has a dipole moment of 4.5 into 10 raised to minus 27 ampere per meter square. And third given data is B is equal to 300 microtesla, and XM is equal to 15. So with this given details, we have to find the value of magnetic field intensity for the three given values, that is for the first one, second one, and for the third set of values. Right. Let us consider the first one. So relative permeability mu r is given by mu r is equal to mu upon mu naught. Why? Because mu is equal to mu naught mu r. So if I want for mu r, that will be mu divided by mu naught. So this will be equal to 1.8, mu is given, into 10 raised to 5, this divided by mu naught, that is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. The answer is 14.3239. Now relationship between magnetic field intensity and magnetization, we know the relation. It is M is equal to xi m into H. This is the relationship between magnetization and the magnetic field intensity. What is xi m? Xi m is mu r minus 1. This into H. Therefore H will be equal to M divided by mu r minus 1. So that is nothing but M is 120, this divided by mu r. Mu r is how much? 14.3239 minus 1. So this will be equal to around 9 ampere per meter. This is the first part. Let us move on to the second part of the problem. So in the second part, we have what is given, mu r is equal to 22. There are 8.3 into 10 raised to 8.3 into 10 raised to 28 atoms per meter cube. Each atom has a dipole moment of, right? So what he has given, dipole moment of each atom. Dipole moment of each atom, that is small m, that is equal to how much? 4.5 into 10 raised to minus 27 ampere meter square. This is the dipole moment of each atom. So how many atoms are there? 8.3 into 10 raised to 28. Therefore, for 8.3 into 10 raised to 28 atoms, right? What will be the right? That is magnetization. Okay, so it is given what will be the dipole moment. Okay, sorry, magnetization. For dipole moment of each atom, for one atom dipole moment is 4.5 into 10 raised to minus 27. Therefore, for 8.3 into 10 raised to 28 atoms, so that will give us the magnetization. So this is magnetization M is equal to 8.3 into 10 raised to 28, this into 4.5 into 10 raised to minus 27. So what is magnetization? Therefore magnetization is nothing but product of N into M. It is number of atoms multiplied by dipole moment, that will give the magnetization. So this is equal to 8.3 10 raised to 28 into 4.5 10 raised to minus 27. This comes out to 373.5 ampere per meter. Next, so the relationship between H and M, we know that H is equal to M divided by mu r minus 1. So this is 373.5. This divided by mu r is given. It is how much? 22 for the second set of values in the given problem. 22 minus 1. The answer is 17.7857 ampere per meter. Ampere per meter. The third part of the problem. In the third part, magnetic flux density is given. So it is B is equal to mu into H. That is mu naught mu r H. Or that is equal to mu naught. What is mu r? Mu r is 1 plus xi m. Okay. Xi m is equal to mu r minus 1. Xi m is mu r minus 1, or mu r is equal to 1 plus xi m. So mu naught into 1 plus xi m into H. Therefore H will be equal to B divided by mu naught into 1 plus xi m. B divided by mu naught into 1 plus xi m. So this is B is how much? 300 into 10 raised to minus 6. This divided by mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. This into 1 plus 15. 1 plus 15. Xi m is given in the third set of values. So the answer comes out to 14.9207 ampere per meter. 14.9207 ampere per meter. Okay. So this is how we have to solve these examples. Fine, students. Now let us take up a new topic, that is magnetic boundary conditions. Magnetic boundary conditions. The conditions of the magnetic field at the boundary between the two medium, right? If the magnetic field is passing from one medium to another medium, right, the conditions of the magnetic fields at the boundary, they are called as magnetic boundary conditions. So these magnetic boundary conditions are the conditions for V bar and H bar. V bar and H bar, right? For these two fields, the magnetic boundary conditions are studied. So these two fields are resolved into two components. One is tangential component, tangential to the boundary. So these V bar and H bar are resolved into two components. One is tangential to the boundary, tangential to boundary, and another one is normal or perpendicular, normal or perpendicular to the boundary, normal or perpendicular to the boundary, right? So here with this we will be next moving on to finding out the boundary conditions for the normal component and for the, that is the tangential component. Okay, so let us consider the surface here. So this is the surface that is considered. So I'll be drawing that. So on this surface we are resolving the components here. So this is Bn bar, Bn bar. Okay, then we have B tangential bar, then the resultant of B normal and B tangential, that is the nothing but our field, that is magnetic flux density B bar. And we have the Gaussian surface which obeys the Gauss law, Gaussian surface. So half of it is in the medium 1 and half of it is in the medium 2, right? So this is the Gaussian surface. Okay. The area is delta S. So the height of this is delta H, delta H. Okay, delta H by 2 is inside medium 1 and then delta H by 2 is in medium 2, right? Then we have the rectangular path, here. So this is a rectangular path we have, right, like this. So let us label it as A, B, then C, D, A. Okay, this is, let us consider it as 1, this let us consider it as 2. The width is delta W, height of this rectangular path is delta H, So this is in medium, upper one is in medium 1, that is mu1, it has a relative permeability of mu1. Then the lower portion is in medium 2, which has the permeability, not relative permeability of mu2. So in medium 1 the permeability is mu1, in medium 2 the permeability is mu2. Then the H bar component, that is, here also we are resolving H tan bar, magnetic field intensity. The normal component Hn bar, the resultant of these two is H bar, okay. So this is the boundary conditions. So we are finding out the boundary conditions for normal component. So the figure is for the boundary between two magnetic materials of different permeabilities. So it is boundary between two magnetic materials of different permeabilities, right? So with this figure into consideration, now let us move on to the details of the boundary conditions for normal component. Boundary conditions for normal component. Boundary conditions for normal component. Here, as I told, height of the, we will be considering, to find the normal component of B bar, we will be considering the Gaussian surface which obeys the Gauss law, right? That is the cylinder. So we will be considering this surface or the cylinder, right? So this cylinder we will be considering to find the boundary condition for the normal component of B. Okay, for normal component of B, at the boundary we are considering the cylinder here, which is the Gaussian surface. Okay, so this Gaussian surface, that is a cylinder, as I told, delta H by 2, its delta H by 2, its height delta H by 2 is in medium 1, and delta H by 2, remaining delta H by 2 is in medium 2, Fine. Then according to the Gauss law, we know that according to Gauss law for the magnetic field, we know that closed surface integral of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. Take it as 1. So if you want to evaluate this integral, we have to evaluate for the entire surface, that is a cylindrical surface, Gaussian surface, right? So this cylindrical surface or Gaussian surface has three surfaces. One is top surface, then second one is bottom surface, and then we have the lateral surface, right? So this cylinder is the one which has the axis along the z axis, right? So here we are considering the cylinder as the Gaussian surface to find the normal component of B. So this is nothing but we have integral of top surface, that is b bar dot ds bar, plus surface integral bottom surface of b bar dot ds bar, plus lateral surface, lateral integral, closed integral of lateral surface b bar dot ds bar. This is equal to 0. Now when we want to find it at the boundary condition, so we are reducing this delta h by 2 as to 0. So delta h by 2 or delta h tends to 0. So when delta h by 2 tends to 0, what will be the lateral area? Lateral area will be lateral this closed surface will be 0 because the height will tend to be 0. So we have the lateral surface integral, that is for lateral b bar dot ds bar. This will be equal to 0 because the height will tend to 0, so its area will be 0. So we have the lateral integral, closed surface integral b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0, right? So we have to integrate only the respect to top surface and the bottom surface. So when we want to integrate with respect to top surface and the bottom surface, right? So here the components bn1 and bn2, right? If you consider this bn1 and bn2, that is surface integrals, that is top surface integral and bottom surface integral, they are very small. So this top surfaces and bottom surface, they are very small. So as they are very small, right, so we can consider the bn1 component and bn2 component as constant throughout the surface. Okay, so they tend to be a flat surface when delta h by 2 tends to 0, right? So we can consider bn1, that is in medium 1, and bn2 in medium 2 as constant, right? So when bn1 and bn2 are assumed to be constant, then we have the top surface, for top surface, right? For top surface it will be, that is closed surface integral of top b bar dot ds bar. This will be bn1 is constant, so this is closed surface integral ds bar. This is equal to bn1 delta s. So for similarly for bottom surface, we have for bottom surface b bar dot ds bar. So for bottom surface it is in medium 2, bn2 is constant, so take it outside. Bottom surface closed integral, this will be equal to bn2 delta s, okay. So if we substitute these equations, that is this equation, let us consider as 2, this is 3, right, this is 4, and this as 5. So if we substitute equations 3, 4 and 5, that is if we substitute this equation 3, 4 and 5 in equation 2, in this equation, main equation, right, what we get? So the equation will be bn1 delta s. Anyhow the lateral surface area is 0, lateral surface integral is 0, so we have only top and bottom. So bn1 delta s plus it will be, but it will be minus here. I'll tell you why it is minus, right? Because bn1, if it is entering the medium, bn1 if it is entering the medium here, bn1 if it is leaving the medium here, bn2 is entering the medium 2. So one we have to consider as positive, another one we have to consider it as negative. Both are opposite to each other. bn1 is leaving the medium 2, bn2 and that medium that is bn2 is leaving the medium 2 and bn1 is entering the medium 1. Okay, so one we have to consider positive, another one as negative. So that is why it is bn1 delta s minus bn2 delta s is equal to 0, or bn1 delta s is equal to bn2 delta s. Delta s and delta s will cancel, therefore bn1 is equal to bn2. So what it indicates here? So this indicates that the normal component of b bar is continuous at the boundary. We know that b is equal to mu h, so b bar is equal to mu h bar. So if we substitute this b bar is equal to mu h bar in this above, that is this, if we consider it as 6, then we have b bar, that is mu1 h n1 is equal to mu2 h n2. That is, if we substitute b is equal to mu h in this equation. So therefore what we get, h n1 divided by h n2, so this will be equal to mu2 by mu1. So what is mu2? It is mu naught mu r2, mu1 is mu naught mu r1, so mu naught and mu naught will cancel, so it will be simply mu r2 by mu r1. So this equation indicates that as hn1 is equal to mu r2 by mu r1 into hn2 hn1 is mu r2 by mu r1 into hn2. So this equation indicates that h bar is not continuous at the boundary. So bn1 is equal to bn2, that means they are continuous, it is continuously passing from medium 1 to medium 2, right? So it is said to be continuous. But as hn1 is mu r2 by mu r1 times hn2, so this indicates that the normal component of h bar is not continuous at the boundary. And the field strengths, that is field intensities, are inversely proportional to their relative permeabilities. hn1 is inversely proportional to mu r1, hn2 is inversely proportional to mu r2. Right students, I hope we all have followed the today's topics. In today's topics we solved two examples, right? Then after the two examples, after solving the two examples, right, then we moved on to a new topic, that is magnetic boundary conditions, right? We started with the introduction part and then we derived the boundary conditions for normal component of B and H, right? And we came to the conclusion that D is, that is normal component of B bar is continuous at the boundary and normal component of H bar is not continuous at the boundary. So you all have, I hope you all have followed students. If there are any queries in these topics, send your queries to me. I'll clarify your queries. Thank you.